What's going on, guys? Wanna Miss here, back with a new Raid Shadow Legends video. So today I'm going to be continuing my weekly Platinum Arena reset videos. Since I call it a weekly series, I'm going to do my best to keep on doing them every single week. I got pretty positive feedback about the previous one where I got 3rd place. I did pretty well this week. Not quite the first I was hoping for, but let's jump into it and talk about what I'm doing. So here we're fighting a kind of an interesting team. You don't see, at least at like the higher levels of Platinum, you don't really see Mortu Macabre too much on defense, but I had to be careful when fighting him because something very specific about Mortu Macabre, where he can do well against my offense, is that I open up with Warlord resetting everybody's cooldowns, but Mortu Macabre can proc his passive after he is hit by that ability. So luckily for me, it didn't happen this time, and then I just killed him anyways, but possibly what could happen is Warlord could hit him, lock him out, and then maybe if reaction procs Trunda doesn't kill him, his passive, I think Peril is what it's called, or Peril something, doesn't get locked out by Warlord. It's a secret skill, and when he gets hit, then it becomes active. So Warlord wouldn't have locked him out, and possibly he would probably target my Trunda even though he's weak affinity to her due to how squishy he is compared to the rest of the team. He might have killed her, blocked a revive, and then I would have lost. So that's why we're seeing some Mortu Macabre on defense this week, especially due to Boomer did a video about using him on offense. I think he is a good but not crazy champion in terms of Platinum Arena. I think the people who had him on their defense, I think their defense was good and it was, smart to try to get a win, but it just didn't quite work out when I hit them. So here we see another very standard defense right now. Siphi Duchess Ursuga plus a Candrafon. I'd argue that the more common variation right now is using a Warlord instead of Candrafon. They give a win condition in two very different ways, right? Candrafon gives you a win condition in that he is a actual damage dealer. He's a nuker on defense. He's one of the very few that, in my opinion, works well on defense, and he can, with attack up, if he gets a turn with attack up, if he lives with his reaction accessories, etc., he can definitely wipe your team. Versus Warlord, his win condition is usually locking you out. Your team might be able to recover, but if you take a minute and a half, 2 minutes to beat that time, or to beat that team, I understand it's still a loss for them, but if you take 2 minutes to beat somebody's team, that's as close to a win as you're going to get for a loss, if that makes sense. So here we see, like I just talked about, Siphi Duchess Ursuga Warlord this time. And you see I open up with Trunda's A3, and only Ursuga's below half health. That's just the reality of reaction accessories now. If you can get lucky and have good reaction accessories on, meta defense champions, your defense at the very least will stall people out very well. Oh man, I am just it's not super fun to play against, but I don't think Player's going to change them anytime soon, but we still punched through it decently quickly. 43 seconds is not too bad. So now we're going to see NZ Karachi. So I fought this person a couple times over the night, I believe, and they definitely have a lot of reaction on their team. So you see here, earlier in the night, I fought them twice, I believe, and both times the fight took me like a minute 20, a minute 30 due to reaction proc. So I was actually thinking, I was like, hey, what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually just going to open with Trunda's A1 on somebody. That way, hopefully they can take turns, get rid of their reaction accessories, and then I nuke, right? So I believe Duchess and Ursuga still had not taken turns yet, but Warlord and Siphi had. So it actually worked out quite a bit better this time. I believe I end up winning like 40 something seconds, or maybe 39 here. Oh no, it looks like low 40s, low to mid 40s it's going to be. Compared to over like a minute and a half last time, which this is kind of what people talked about back when reaction accessories were like introduced to us, or like the concept was told to us content creators, like, hey, we're going to implement these new 75% that you don't crit. We were thinking, wow, we're going to have to like actually, number one, going to probably run nukers a fair bit slower. Number two, we might just have to like slow down our offense, which luckily for me, Warlord on my team makes that possible for me. if you were trying to run this with like a more standard, or I guess not more standard, but a lot of people run Kymar instead of Warlord in my position. If you're running Kymar there, you can't really afford to not nuke, because you have the reset, right? Versus with Warlord, I can kind of take my time. So here, literally, Duchess, Siphi, Warlord, Ursuga, like a super common defense right now. And admittedly, I hit it, right? So it's like I'm more than fine hitting it, but it's just depending on the reaction can be very very annoying to fight. And so we see here though, so the Siphi actually gets herself out of the rotation of my Warlord lockout. She gets off her A2 and then I re-lock her out, but getting that increased speed, increased defense, block debuffs, like that's a really big deal for this team to stall me out. You see I had to finish off the Warlord there, killed off Duchess, and now we're already almost at a minute and a half here, and Siphi is still reviving people. Luckily, I take them back down right away, even through the Ursuga protection, but definitely getting stalled here, so not good. This is probably, this team in its entirety, like everybody that I hit with this team, Duchess, Siphi, Ursuga, X, or like specifically with Warlord, I probably need to delay my Trunda against every single person that I'm fighting like this. We'll see if I need to do it for... I think I just open up with the A3 on this person, but like I said in my previous video, I guess you guys are still finding these videos at least somewhat entertaining. I find me using the same offense, hitting mostly the same teams, admittedly a little boring. Nice quick 20 seconds there though, so that's nice. You know, part of it's my fault for not having the offense capabilities to hit, you know, other teams, hit the Hegemon Warlord, Hegemon Kymar, Hegemon Warlord Kymar teams. Since I only have the one Kymar right now, I'm fairly limited to what I can do with him. Considering I don't even use him during like the actual last 15-20 minutes, I'm considering changing his build, but we'll have to see. So here we see another. So this variation doesn't have Siphi, but this is a pretty popular variation of the defense. Duchess, Ursuga, Warlord, Kandrifon. So this has kind of a double threat, right? It has the Warlord for locking out, but it can also possibly win with Kandrifon. And see, I made a slight mistake there. I left my team on auto, and I believe the Warlord woke up the Kandrifon, unfortunately. Luckily, I'm back around to my ability, and I locked him out, but basically, we're already pushing a minute here. And I choose not to revive there, because I know that the Kandrifon is just going to kill Trunda as soon as I bring her back up. In hindsight, I probably should have just revived, considering I still had Siphi's revive to follow up, but it was a super slow Kandrifon with the Swift Parry proc, and I actually get my my skills locked out here by the Ursuga A1, which is really unfortunate, because I could have nuked them here, but I was stuck A1ing Duchess, and then Kandrifon, he's going to take a turn and kill my Trunda, stall me. We're in like the last maybe 10 minutes or so right now. Getting stalled to about 2 minutes is definitely not a good thing. Luckily, my own Warlord is pretty quick. I got back around before the enemy Warlord could lock me out in return. I get off the revive, and I'm hoping I can get off the nuke here before this Kandrifon kills my Trunda yet again. And it seems I still had a 1-turn lockout on my skills, possibly from when Warlord locked me out previously. Kandrifon kills Trunda again. See, this is why he's, even on defense, very good, because even if you lock him out with Warlord, he's smart, and he'll just keep on A1ing your weakest person, which for most people's team is going to be their Trunda, right? Their nuker. We're at almost 2.5 minutes here, and I get back around to my Warlord A3. Honestly, that Candy may have even taken the turn and killed my Trunda once again, but unfortunately we're at about 6 minutes 45 left, and I kind of I took a long fight there. I think this fight goes pretty quickly for me, but then after this one, I think I take another long fight. I meant to change my defense with about 5 minutes or so left, because I wanted to try to throw people off that were hitting me a bunch. But here we see I open with the A3 Trunda nuke. This one's using a Torment instead, which in my opinion is Obviously, not everybody just has Ursuga, but Ursuga does a much better job. Or Ursuga or Hegemon does a much better job than Tormund in this case. Now here, I'm just we're just getting the swift parries out of the way, sleeping and trying to kill them off. I know that the Duchess is still locked out, so I'm not worried about losing. Re-locked her out right there. About 45 seconds here and Trunda finishes her off. So 45 is acceptable, but not that fast of a win. So now here we attack another variation. This time using Kymar as the speed lead instead of like using Siphi in this team or something like that. Looks like I got lucky with reaction procs and I wiped most of the team. 14 seconds is very, very fast. So I think I got a little bit lucky there, but I was faster than that team, so it's going to lose to me anyways. But refreshing here, as you can see, like I said, you see a lot of like Duchess, Siphi, Warlord, Hegemon. I don't have a very good way to hit that team, which is what I was talking about earlier with saying I need to update my offense capabilities. I probably need to just need to bite the bullet and change my Kymar gear, but he's been in immunity for so long that I don't know, I kind of don't want to change him. But you see here, so we got that really fast fight on the previous one, so I got a little bit baited. I thought, hey, I can get another fight in, then I'll change my defense, and then we'll kind of wrap up the reset. But what you see here is this person's running a very fast Warlord, and actually what I can tell right here is that since the Warlord just used his A2, that means that he's gotten enough turns to refresh his cooldowns, and then he locks me out right here. So this is probably one, like I was talking about earlier, once again, those Siphi, Duchess, Ursuga Warlord teams, I probably just need to start opening with Trunda's A1. Let the enemy team take as many turns as possible to get rid of those reaction accessories and then nuke. Since I don't have Kymar on my team, I don't have that very powerful ability reset that can kind of unlock like an extra 1 or 2 hits from Trunda with her proper AoE abilities. So this ended up biting me in the butt quite a bit on this one. And plus, if I'd been paying closer attention to how many turns specifically the Warlord had been taking, maybe I could have slept him and not gotten locked out. I would have had to sleep him before he used his A2 ability. But see here, the Warlord got revived and I'm trying to target him down. Luckily, my own Warlord got back and got his lockout ability. So right here, now my Trunda is finally getting back around to her cooldowns and I'm trying to nuke through this team, but since I can't target the Ursuga due to Veil, it's very difficult to kill this team, or like to kill them without targeting the Ursuga first. We finally get back around to a Trunda A3. We're hitting 2 minutes right now when I had maybe 5.5 to 6 minutes left of the reset. So getting stalled at this point is not good at all. And then once again, these supposed 50-50 swift parry proc. I'm sure there are plenty of times that like it's so easy to remember when it procs versus when it doesn't, right? Because when it doesn't proc, you just don't see it. But when it procs, you very clearly see it, and it's very frustrating because that slapped on an extra 20 seconds to this fight. So 2 minutes and 45 seconds left, and now is when I change my I should have just changed it before that fight. Unfortunately, I did not see a 2-minute fight coming. So I'm trying to kind of scramble, put my other defense in. This is a defense that I was working on earlier in the day. It's Duchess, Ursuga, Hegemon, and Candy. So I was trying the defense that I fought earlier a little bit. I think I only hit a defense like this once or twice, but it's running that sort of it's running a double threat in a different way, because I was using a stronger Hegemon instead of the weak crowd control one, and then I was using a very strong swift parry Kandrifon. So unfortunately didn't get very much practice this reset. Now that I showed it on video and talked about it, I'll probably have to change up the stats on it, but we'll see. 31 seconds here, so we're down to the last 2 minutes. That person at the bottom there, I farmed them a lot last week before their team was speed tuned, but I tried them earlier tonight and they did speed tune their Warlord, so I didn't have a good way to hit them right now due to they run a super high health shield set Krisk. So even if I could like use a Hegemon to let my team go first, since my Trunda is in Savage gear, the Krisk would have enough accuracy most likely to put decreased attack on her, and so my nuke wouldn't really work. So that's why I didn't hit that team very much. But we hit Skeleton again, 23 seconds, pretty quick. We're down to the last minute here now. I'm refreshing, and I see when I refresh, I'm seeing a lot of teams that are +9 at the top of my list, which means that I'm definitely not contesting, you know, like first or second place. It means that I'm probably in the top 10 or top 20 at this point. I'm hoping I can get, you know, some quick wins to get in the end there. A little follower notification here. The CP666, if you're watching this, thanks for following, buddy. Appreciate that. So we see here again, Kandrafon just targeting the crap out of my Trunda, being really annoying. And here I just finish him off with or I try to, and once again, that 50-50 Swift Parry proc. What I needed to do here was, I'm pretty sure my Trunda had, or excuse me, my Arbiter had her A2 ability to strip one buff off. My Arbiter doesn't have super high accuracy, so I probably wouldn't have, it's not a guaranteed to land, but we see here, I see that there's, you know, 12 seconds left, so I kind of just, I know I can't get another win in no matter what, so I kind of look at the scoreboard. So it says I'm in 8th place, with Panda getting first, Elithar getting second, and then I don't know who the 3rd place is. But to my knowledge, that is the actual top 4 ranking right there. I think that is what they ended at. So we see here, I look at my defense really quick. I look at the log. I did get a win with that defense that I swapped in towards the end there. But then from my previous defenses, mostly losses with people hitting me with, you know, Siphi double Rotos or Siphi 1 Rotos. We do see a couple victories in there from someone hitting me with like what I would assume to be a Resistance Kymar. I'm not sure what happened because my previous defense Resistance Kymar should do pretty well versus. I back out here to kind of give it a second to get my rewards in. We go look at the trophy and we get 8th place this week, as it said in the top player scoreboard. So 8th place this week. Top 10 is always good, but after the past 2 weeks where I was like, in my, like 2 weeks ago, I was really close to first and then I got like heavily targeted. And then last week I was really close to first again, but then I made that mistake at the end with kind of that long offense I got stuck in. And now once again, this week, it's kind of just my own fault, right? I got stuck in the last 8 minutes, I had 2 like really long offenses that I got stuck in, and it didn't let me put my defense in. Since I was stuck in that fight, I wasn't able to put my defense in when I wanted to. So anyways, that's going to do it for this week's reset video. Once again, if you guys like seeing these videos, please let me know in the comments. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I will see all of you on a new video soon. Peace.